Hello, and welcome to our webinar. Learning evaluation is a cornerstone on any effective training program. But what does seamless evaluation mean? It's about making the process efficient, accurate, and engaging for both learners and instructors. So in this session, we'll explore how we can achieve this in Talent LMS. But before we move on here, let's do the proper introductions. My name is Eleni, and I'm a senior customer enablement consultant, and I will be hosting this session live alongside with my good colleague, Anastasia.
Hello, everybody. I am Anastasia. I'm a customer enablement specialist. Today, I'm here with Irini to guide you through how you can easily evaluate your learners using Talent LMS.
And before we move on, just a quick reminder, this webinar is being recorded and you will receive the recording via email once the session concludes. Feel free to share it with your colleagues as well. And we're also hosting a live Q&A throughout the session. This is the opportunity to ask anything about Talent LMS. We have Corina and Ioannis in the back actively answering questions. So you will be able to address all of your questions and we will be answering them during the entire session. And of course, some of them will be answered live at the end of our session. So let's see our agenda for today. So today we will learn how to work with tests. We will do a deep diving the tests and how we can create very effective tests. Then we will move on into how to work with assignments. And of course, we will then shift the discussion on pro tips to maximize your evaluations. And as I mentioned before, the live Q&A will be held to ask all of your questions. So I'm going to stop sharing and I will pass the floor to Anastasia so we can start discussing about the tests. Anastasia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Irini. Yes, let's start with our first topic today, tests. Let me also share my screen. So yes, tests are a great choice to help you with your users, to help you with your users' learning and their evaluation. Additionally, they are really easy to create in Talent LMS. As you can see, I'm logged in today as an administrator. So to start creating a test unit, let me access a course from my course list. I will take the first one here, where I'm also added as an instructor. So let's start creating our test unit by clicking the Add button here, and from the Learning Activities, go to the Test option. To begin with, we first need to give our test unit a name. So I will name it Quiz, and I will also add a quick description for my learners. So let me paste it here. Okay, here we go. And now we are ready to start creating the test questions. As you can see, there are a lot of options to choose from. We're going to go through all of them one by one. And let's start with the first option, the AI generation. This is a very recently added feature. And to be honest, I'm really excited about it. And I know that some people from our audience today will be too, because this is something that a lot of customers have been asking. Now, with this option, you can craft multiple choice questions just with a few clicks if you want to save time on thinking about the questions and their possible answers. Just type the relevant topic here, and since we are inside the Mastering Negotiation course, I will just put this topic, negotiation, and also select how many questions you would like the AI to create for you. So choose the number of questions and click on the Generate button. And voila, we'll have our questions already created. Questions and their possible answers. But of course, if you want to change anything, you can totally do it by clicking on the Edit button here. Now, if you are more of a traditional type and you want to create your own questions from scratch manually, you can choose the multiple choice option here and start by setting your question. Okay, and of course, don't forget the possible answers. Okay, so let me add one. You need to add at least 2 possible answers, but let me add one more. And to be able to save this multiple choice question, you need to select the correct answer. As soon as you click in the correct answer, you also get the feedback and tags section, um, where you can create, when you can optionally add feedback to show up after learners submit their answers. And the tags section, if you want to categorize and organize your question using tags for archiving purposes, you can totally either select from the ones that you have created or type and create a new tag. I will now use the evaluation tag for this question, and I will click the save button. Okay, one more question is added to my test unit. And let's see the other options. So next we have the fill the gaps question type, where you can create a phrase, sentence, or paragraph with blank spaces, and the learners are asked to provide the missing word. So here in the brackets, you see the word that will be missing, and the users will need to fill in with it. But if you want to make it easier for your learners, just add some alternative options. So there we go, just click here, and the feedback and tags sections are appearing. I will not sort by any tag here. I will just click on save because we have more options to discover. So this is the ordering option where the learners are asked to place the answers in the correct order. You can give some guidelines to your learners here, and then add your items. When you create the question, you need to place the items in the correct order, but then they will appear randomly for your users. Okay, let me add another one. So the users will need to place them in the correct order. So let's save. And we have a similar option that follows. It is the match the pairs option, where learners are asked to match the pairs of information together. Again, we need to give some guidelines just to let them know what they need to do. And here I will type the options. So the items, understanding, we're still talking about negotiation skills. So let me add the items like this, and learning their values. Again, when we create the items, we need to place the pairs together, but then they will appear randomly for the users to match them. Round and sharing goals here. We're ready. I will not add any optional item this time. Click Save. And the next option would be the free text questions, where here learners can respond to open-ended questions in text form. Use this option if you want to create essay-style questions. So, for example, you can ask them in their own words to explain why understanding the other parties is essential for mastering negotiation. And then you need to set the rules. So if their answer contains, for example, the word trust, they can take 1 point, and you can add as many rules as you want. Also, you can select does not contain the word trust and make them lose 1 point. And don't forget to set how many points they need to gain in order for the question to be taken as correct. So let's save this and move to the next option, the randomized question. This is a very powerful option. Here you can create a pool of existing questions that will be drawn randomly for each learner. So essentially, you're creating a unique test for everybody. This is a powerful option because it encourages genuine understanding, makes your tests more dynamic, and it reduces the likelihood of sharing answers between your learners. So just add, the question and select the pool of the randomized questions that you would like to add in this test unit. You can add at least 2. And here you can also make use of the tags. So you can sort for the different tags, or you can also filter here to find the tags, or any courses that you remember that you have created some questions and you would like to use them in your pool. Uh, to make sure that you are selecting the correct answer, you can also preview the questions here. Okay, so I have created my pool. Let me add one more. And okay, I think I passed, yeah, the character. Sorry for that. Let me just put this one. Yes, now I can save. All right. Now, we're not done with the randomized option. We need also to select how many of these questions we would like to assign to this test unit. So let me just add 1 out of the pool of 3 questions. And so far, we have seen all the options if you want to create questions from scratch. But what if you want to save time? You have also an option about this. You can save time by reusing existing questions, and this is the option. If you click the existing questions option, you will see all the questions that we have already added in our test so far. And you can also select toggle here in order to add some more, or again, make use of the filter and filter for the different courses and the tags. I will not add any more questions. And also, since we're speaking of saving time, I want to also share with you the option to import questions. You can totally do that in TalentLMS. But to save time from our webinar too, I will not elaborate more on how you can perform this import of questions, but now in the chat, you can find a very detailed relevant article on how you can import questions in the gift and icon format to enhance your course content. So we are ready. We have created our test unit with all the questions. Before I publish the unit and make it available for my learners, I would like to go over some test options with you. So from here, you can add a timer for your users. If you want to set a timer in order to pass the test, you can select the pass score and maybe make it from the default 50%, maybe a 70 or even an 85%. You can sample questions and the possible answers. If you want, you can allow repetitions if not passed, and also set a maximum number of attempts. Then you can show correct answers when your learners pass the questions. So the feedback that we've seen, you can also allow movement to next or previous questions. So this is something that you want to do. And there are also some security options if you want, for example, to require a password from your learners before they start the test. And last but not least, you can also share a general message to congratulate your learners if they pass the test, and also, a message if they haven't passed the test, if they failed the test, to don't discourage them and to encourage them to keep going. Now, before I save my test options, let me scroll back up and show you the tab that you have here about the weight. This is where you define how a specific question affects the overall grading of the test. Each question constitutes a percentage of the test, as you can see. And if you want to give more weight, let's say for a more difficult question, like our free text question here, you can just change the weight. And you have seen how the percentage is altered too. Okay, now we're ready. So let's save our test options and publish our test unit. Okay, so I will click on the preview button because I would like you to see how the question options that we have created are showing up for our learners. So let me start by completing randomly the test questions that we have added. Some multiple choice questions here, more multiple choice. This is the fill the gap. And here we put the questions in the answers in the correct order. Some match the pairs. I'm randomly again creating, but now I know which here in the free text question, which answer will give me at least 1 point. More match the pairs. And I think I'm done. Well, I didn't pass the test, but I get the message to don't be discouraged. I can try again or print my submission. And I can, of course, check all the answers I've given. And if you also want to check the answers of your users, then you can totally do that because we have relevant dedicated test reports. You can access it from the learning activities reports. So here you will see the reports for our learning activities options, but we want to focus on the test. So let me just filter for the test. And I want a specific, yes. Okay, I have a test report that I would like to share with you here. So let me click on that. Here we have some variety of options and some metrics about the unit success rate, a graph about the activity of the users. We have the tab with all the users, and so we can see the completion date, the progress status if they've passed it and not attempted or it's in progress, the score, the training time that they have passed inside this unit. And we can also hover over a user and check their submission. So the answer they've given, and if they have submitted more than 1 attempt, we can totally check them from here. You have a tab with the test analysis, the distribution of the different answers to your questions of the first and last attempt of the users, and a timeline with the activity log of this specific test unit. As we have shared in previous webinars, you can export all TalentLMS reports in Excel, and you can also schedule them to periodically receive them in your inbox. Now, I would like also to share how a test report looks like if you export it or schedule to receive it in your inbox. So first of all, you get the overview with the distribution of the answers of the users and to our questions, and the details where you can check in very detail all the answers to your questions, and you can also click here to view their submission. And of course, you have the timeline tab. And with that said, I think we have covered everything about tests. So Irini, the floor is yours for our next topic.
Thank you, Anastasia. So let me share my screen really quick. I hope that you all see my screen, and I'm already in the course that we will be demonstrating everything today. So let's create an assignment. What is the difference with a test? The assignment is the type of unit that the instructor will add the topic, and then the learners will submit their answers either by typing a text or by uploading files or doing recordings. And of course, the system is not evaluating those answers like with the test, but the instructor will need to go back and grade its submission accordingly. So let's see how we can do that. Again, the add button is here, and go to learning activities and add the assignment unit. Now, what I'm gonna do is copy here a topic that I have. Sorry, a topic that I have here um, as a content, okay? And I'm gonna give this assignment a title, this unit, let's say final exam. Now, since I have added the text, if I highlight something, the format bar will show up so I can, make the words bold here, underline. I can also add some color. I can also click here on the dots and include a table or add an image or a link. And of course, the AI feature is here to help me fix the spelling or translating a different language. Now, once I have added the topic of my assignment, the next step is to go here to assignment options because we need to do another set of configurations. So We need to select what would be the reply method. As you can see, we already have 5, which by default will be all available, but it's up to you to select which reply method you require for this assignment. So I'm going to remove the recordings and allow just uploading a file and the text. You can also add a duration in your assignment. Let's say that for this particular assignment, I want my learners to submit their answers within 30 minutes. So I'm just going to add 30 minutes here. And you can also add the due date and an end time to be even more specific when it comes to deadlines for your assignments. And last thing, how this assignment would be completed. We have 2 options here. By default, when instructor accepts the answer, what does that mean? Whenever a learner submits their answer, they will be in a pending status, waiting for the instructor to grade their submission. If they don't receive any grade, they won't be able to move on into the next units. And until they receive that grading, they will be able to re-edit their answer if it's a text or re-upload the file. If we go with the second option, that means that by the time the learner submits their answer, the system will consider this action, this submission as passed in order to give the flexibility to the learner to move on to into the next unit. Of course, again, the instructor will need to go back and grade that submission. And of course, if they fail, they will update the status. And if you have set up the notifications, which we will elaborate later on that. The learner will receive an email informing them about the actual grading and the status of this assignment. For this example, I will go with the first option and I will click the Save button. And since our course is active, let me publish the unit like this. And let's see how that looks like. So I will click the preview button and I will go all the way down to click the final exam. You see that I get the information that I have 30 minutes to complete the assignment. And if I start the assignment, the timer is counting backwards. These are the available options for me to answer. And if I click the test, I'm just going to add here test. I will submit. And now I'm given the option to edit the answer until I get the grading back from the instructor. Now, how does the instructor grades those answers? You could either click here on the submissions button. If you have any submissions, this will be highlighted, or going back to the instructor's dashboard this time, because this feature is only available for instructors, go to Grading Hub and to, assignments. Now in here, you will find all the submissions for all the assignments that you have and the, and the status, pending, passed, and not passed. Now, if you want to target the pending ones, the filter here will allow you to do so. And we have a final exam again in another course and the submissions, the users that have submitted their answers, the date, and the status. For example, if I click to Abby still here, I can check again the topic of the assignment in case I want to do a refresher, let's say a refreshment, let's say, the submission here, and the option to give the grade. So I think that Abby will get 90 points. I don't need to add any comments and I will set her as passed. Now, Alexander here, on the other hand, has uploaded an image. According to the assignment, this is not the correct answer. So I will add to not passed Alexander. And if I remove the filter, you can see that these are the last 2 submissions that I have evaluated. Of course, from the button here, you can also check the grade and change it. You can send a message to that user. You can reset their progress so they can retake the test again. And for the failed uh, for the failed submissions, if the user needs to resubmit their answer, this drop-down menu will show you the history of all the submissions they have done so far. And another note on this, you can download the submissions. So if it's a recording or a file, you can definitely download them from here. This does not apply for free text answers, unfortunately. Now, like with any evaluation method that we have here, we also have the respective report. So the report button here, click into learning activities. Anastasia has filtered by test. I'm going to remove the filter and I will search by assignment. You see that I have all the assignment reports, the type, the learning activity. This is the unit name, let's say, the course name, how many completed, in progress, and not passed assignments I have, the not attempted, and an average score. And of course, I can preview this report like this, where I have the overview with some statistics, some metrics here on the top, unit success rate on a pie chart, and the activity graph. The list of users that have participated in this assignment, the completion date, the progress, the training time. This is the time they spend while submitting their answers. And of course, for each user that has passed or attempted an assignment, the eye here will allow me to view the submission like this. Okay, and we can also complete an assignment for the not attempted like this from here. And of course, the timeline of this assignment, the timestamp of everything. Again, the export in Excel button is here and the schedule functionality available to receive these reports periodically. And if I click on this Excel, just allow me a couple of minutes so the window will open. Let me bring that here. This report looks like this with the overview tab and details for every user, the submission date, and the link to get you into that submission and the timeline as well. And I think that Anastasia, since we have covered the tests and the assignments, it's time to share our pro tips for to maximize our evaluations. What do you say?
Yes, totally, Rini. So let me share my screen once more. Okay, here we go. Okay. So my pro tips include some more options for you to evaluate your learners. You can totally, if you're familiar and you have some SCORM files created with an external authoring tool, you can totally upload those SCORM files as a course unit inside your courses. So let's go back to our mastering negotiation course and edit it to see how we can upload a SCORM file. From the Add button, again, go to the learning activities, and here you have the option of the SCORM file. Now, for those who are not familiar what a SCORM file is, this is a package of e-learning content that's designed to work with learning management systems. As I mentioned before, you can create SCORM files with external authoring tools, and then you can upload them in TalentLMS to help you evaluate and engage your learners even more. And additional point to that, you have a dedicated report for your SCORM files. So from the learning activities, this time we're going to filter here. We're going to filter for the SCORMs. And since we are also using SCORM files in our talent library courses, I would like to show you how a SCORM report would look like. As always, we have the overview tab with some metrics about the unit success rate. Here, the pie chart, the activity of the users, and some metrics about the completion rate, etc. So we have the users tab where we can see everybody who has submitted their their answers in our SCORM file, and we can also view the attempt of our user. Okay, so we can totally see their answers. We have also a dedicated tab with the distribution of the answers in the questions included in the SCORM, and of course the timeline tab as always, where we see the activity log of this specific SCORM unit. And you can also export this report and schedule it to be sent out to you or share it with more recipients. Now, next in my list of pro tips are the ILTs. The ILTs are the live sessions that you can create to enhance the engagement with your learners, but you can totally use them for evaluation purposes too. The way to create a live session is, of course, by clicking the Add button, Learning Activities, go to the Instructor-led Training, and I would like to show you how you can create very quickly an ILT unit. Of course, give it a name, And you can also type a description for your learners. I will skip that now. And here you see that in TalentLMS, you can create online sessions, but also in-person sessions. So I will click to create an online session. So session 1. You can set the date and time that the live session will start. Also select the instructor that is going to host the live session, set the duration, type a description for your learners, and save. Now, as soon as you create and publish the ILT unit, your users will be able to register themselves in your session. But you can also add them, so register them manually from here. And as soon as the session ends, you can go back. And since you're going to be the instructor of this ILT, you can go to your grading hub here. And now Irene skipped that the ILT sessions tab on purpose before, so she saved it for me. Now from here you can check the ILT session that we just created, and you can manually grade the users and view one by one, but also if you see that everybody has attended your session, you can just select them all and grade them. Okay, since they have attended, I will just give them a high score, so 100, and congrats, and mark them as passed. Right? Now, if you want to keep your users even more engaged with the ILTs, with the ILT sessions, and create also something extra in terms of communication, we have thought about that too in TalentLMS, and you can do it with our notifications feature. So if you click on your notifications now, you have already you can also you can find some default notifications created for you. The system has created that for you to help you get started. So you will totally find a notification about the ILT grading. So here is if you would like to notify the users that you have graded their ILT session. But of course, you can add more notifications regarding the ILTs. You can go here to add a new notification, and from the event, just type ILT, and you will see that you can notify the learners when you create a session, an ILT session. You can notify the course instructors whenever somebody is registered in the session that they have created. And you can also send a reminder that an ILT session is going to start with this notification here. Since we are already inside the notifications, I would also like to mention that in the default notifications, you have some notifications about assignments. So to save time, to save you some time, you can allow the notifications to be active and notify the course instructors when when a learner submits an answer, and of course notify the learners when an instructor is grading their submission. So saving time from logging in, they will receive a notification in their inbox to know that somebody submitted an assignment, and course instructor has graded their assignment. And I think that's all the pro tips I had for our audience today, Irene. Back to you.
Yes, so let me share my screen one more time. I'm already in the course list. So the tips that I want to share with you are about the surveys and how to organize your unit. So let me start with the surveys first, and I'm going to click in the course we have been working uh, in. So the surveys is the type of unit that will allow learners to provide feedback. Similar to the tests, they will need to answer a series of questions, but this time they're not evaluated. How can you get advantage of that? You can involve the learners on sharing feedback of the actual evaluation, share their thoughts about the tests or the assignments, or recommend other alternatives or share ideas. So how can we include that and allow our learners to participate even more when designing a course? Click the Add button and click on the Learning Activities to find the survey unit. Now, as I said, similar to the questions, to the tests, you can create your questions. You have the option to access existing questions from here. And if you have organized them by tags, you can also filter based on courses or tags. This is similar to the tests. Multiple choice questions where you need to provide the answers, free text questions where the learner will share and express their thoughts, and of course the Likert scale where you can add your question here and create a scale based on level of agreement, satisfaction, quality, likelihood, frequency, or create your own custom scale. Of course, this is the type of unit that has its own report. So if we go back to reports, learning activities, and filter by survey really quick, uh, let's check on this survey here. Again, we have an overview tab with the metrics here, the list of users that participated or not in that survey yet, survey analysis where you can check the distribution of answers and the timeline of the survey. And of course, the export and schedule button available to receive the report periodically. Now, going back into the course to discuss a little bit about organization, because also organization is really important. It can maximize your evaluation. As you have noticed, we have these titles, let's say, that organize our unit list like this. These are the sections, which you can easily create by clicking the Add button here and click the section from the More button. A new section is being created here, which of course you can rename. So let's name that evaluation and save it. And of course, you can drag and drop it. So let me move my window like this because there is a button of Zoom here that will not allow me to drag it. And you can move it like this here on the top where the quiz is starting. So you can organize the unit list like this. And another thing that the sections provide is the delay availability. So let's say that you have created a course with the training material, but you want to prevent the users to access any evaluation unit before 2 days have passed, let's say. If you hover on a section from the dots here, you can delay the evaluation, the availability like this. You can do it by hours or by days. So let's set up to 2 and save the delay. And this will prevent any user to move forward unless 2 days have passed. How does this section is counting time? Well, it depends all on the enrollment date. So at the end of the day, you will have users probably accessing this section on a different date, but all of them will have the same amount of time spending with your training material before they actually access the tests. And last but not least, the cloning functionality. You can find it here on the More button and clone. With cloning, we can basically create replicas of units from other courses in the course that we're working in. Independent units that we can rename, we can change the unit completion, we can adjust them exactly how we want them without affecting the original one. It's very easy to work with. You just need to select the course, the unit, and clone. And how would that work with tests? Let's say that the majority of your tests will follow the same amount of the same time limit, the same percentage to pass the test, and the same behavioral or security settings. You can create a blank test in this case without any questions, just set up the test options and clone it to every course you create. So you will have, let's say, a template of a test with the setup that Anastasia demonstrated earlier already in place, and just add your questions one by one and save time. These are the tips that I have to share with you. And since I'm here, if you don't mind, Anastasia, can I start with picking some questions from the Q&A that we have already here.
Yes, certainly. Go ahead,
Okay,
Irene.
so let me start from the top. There is a question that a lot of you have answered. I just picked Elias' question to answer live. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but a lot of you have requested, have asked that. Any chance you generate questions based on the units from the course? I'm afraid that at this point, when we try to generate questions based on with the help of the AI can only generate questions based on the prompts that we're adding here. But that's a very good idea. We can definitely forward to our relevant team, but for the time being, you can only generate questions based on the prompts you're adding here. Now, there is another question coming from an anonymous attendee. Can you create a test outside of a course as a standalone? I'm afraid that this is not possible. In order for you to create a test, you need to create a course, but it's not mandatory for you to add any content apart, any additional content apart from the test. So if you want basically to create a standalone test, you can basically create a course from scratch just by adding a title. Not even the description is necessary at this point, and you can start adding your test units in that course. I hope that helps. Let's see, another question comes for Elias as well. Does delay availability start from unit creation or since when the user was added? As I answered earlier, the delay availability will be counting based on the enrollment date of each user. And a last question before I pass the mic to Anastasia. Let me find it. It comes from an anonymous attendee, and it's really interesting about the assignments. If the system is set to allow the learner to continue after submitting an assignment, do the assignments show as pending in the grading hub or as passed? If they show as passed, how does the trainer identify which assignments they need to grade? Very good question. Yes, indeed, the assignments will show, the submissions will show as passed, but in this case, you can take advantage of the notifications, like Anastasia demonstrated before. In the notifications tab, you will find already two notifications in place about the assignment, about the assignments. One for the learner, who will be notified whenever their submission has been graded, and one for the instructor who will be notified about when a new submission has been added. So at this point, the notification will work as expected. So even if the system considers that submission as passed, the instructor will still receive the notification, so they can jump in back into submission into the submissions and grade accordingly. And if you want to make your instructor's life easier, let's access this notification that we have adjusted here. As you can see, we have included the related user name and the name of the assignment. But if you check on the smart tags, you can also include the course URL. So the instructor will click directly on that link and access the course, or the submissions URL. So they can jump in right into the submission and grade it accordingly. I hope this helps. Anastasia, are you ready to answer some questions?
Yes, Irene. Sorry for that. I'm ready to answer questions that I have picked from our Q&A. So let me also share my screen. Okay, here we go. I also have some questions from Elias. Okay, 1 second. So I had them here. Okay, here we go. So Elias says, not on topic, but can you link tests from one course to another? This is a great question. As we saw before, you can use existing questions from other courses if you want, but tests cannot be linked. So tests, surveys, assignments, and ILTs cannot be linked from other courses. You need to create them from scratch. But as we saw in the test option, you can totally reuse some existing questions that you have created in other in other courses. So I hope this helps. And another one from Elias, does delay availability start from unit creation or since when the user was added? So delay availability that Irini demonstrated will start counting from the moment that the users are added to the course. And I hope this also helps in your case. I have some more questions. One from Mary. How can my learners download forms that they need to fill in by hand? Okay, this is a very great question and also a very useful one, I think, that maybe will apply in a lot of cases from our audience. So if you would like to share a file with your learners and then help them download this file and upload it as as an answer, you can, let me just go and show it to you. So from here, you can select the Files tab and upload a file that you would like to share with the users. I have some uploaded files already here. So when the file is uploaded, it looks like this. And if you toggle here, this will activate the sharing with the users. As soon as you share a file with the users can check it in the file section here, and they can go here and download it. And then if you want them to sign this file and upload it in the Talent LMS, what you could do is use the assignments. So let's show this. Irini showed that before, so you can create from scratch an assignment unit and just let your users know that like sign contract or sign file, and let them know, just guide them what they need to do, that they need to download the file shared and then upload it here and upload it here. And from the options that Irini demonstrated, you can just select the option to upload the file. So this will be their only option as an answer, and save. So there you go. This is a very good case for, I think, a lot of our users. Some more questions. So is it possible to complete any tests or assignments in our courses? This is a question from John. I understand that, John, you mean that you need to complete tests or assignments on behalf of your learners, right? You can do that. So from the reports, from the test reports, I saw before that we can view the attempts of the users. So let's go to test report. Let me filter here to check one of our tests. And let me check one that we have some answers. So here we go. Now, for the users that have submitted a test attempt, we can view their attempt. For the other users, we can go and complete the unit for them, so on their behalf. Okay, so if you manually complete either a test or an assignment, this will give the user the grade of 100%. So this is something that you cannot manually edit. So if you decide that you need to complete it manually, then they are already graded with 100%. And let me just select another question, a last one. And Irini, then I can give you back the mic because you might have some more questions to answer. Today we have a lot of attendance from our customers, so this is great for us. Thank you. So, Peter, what happens if I weight a question to 0? This is what I demonstrated before. So from the test options inside the course, if we weight a question to 0, this, I'm afraid that will not affect the result of the test. So let me go to my test. Okay, here. So for example, if I weight 0 to this question, then by default, this will not be affecting the result of the test. So the score of the total score of the total test score for the learner will not be affected by from the answer that they will give in this question. And I hope this helps. So, Irini, you have some more questions that you would like to reply to?
Yes, let's give you a break because I can see that you're coughing. So let's give you a break to sip
Yes,
some
my
water.
throat. Thank
Uh,
you.
Let me take over the screen sharing. One question coming from Justine. I hope I say that correctly. If you have courses that need to be completed regularly, is there a way to download a CSV file of who has completed the latest version of the course since the most recent update? I think that what you're looking for is the schedule functionality. So randomly, I'm just clicking on the course report. Let's say the mastery negotiation. You see, we have the button to download the entire course report, but we also have the button to schedule this report. This is receiving this report periodically, the latest data, of course. You can set that up weekly, on a weekly or on a monthly basis. And of course, you will need also to select the date like this. Click the schedule button, and there you got. There you have it. Every, for example, 2 weeks on a Wednesday, you will be receiving this report in your mailbox. And the Add Custom Recipients button here will allow you to include more people into this. So instead of you forwarding this email to your colleagues, you can also click here and add their emails. And the good news, they don't need to have any Talent LMS accounts. It could be any email. What you need to note, though, is that if you select the custom recipients, and you also need to receive this report, ensure that you will include your email here as well, because the custom recipients will, let's say, bypass you. So you will receive nothing unless you add your email in this area here. Uh, Now, I hope this helps. If this is not what you're looking for, send us an email to success@talentlms.com so we will get back to you. And another question from Mara before I pass the mic to Anastasia. If I have training that employees must watch every year, how can I ensure that employees watch it annually without losing the yearly record? Now, I think what you would like to achieve here is through the certificates. So what I'm going to do is go back to the edit to edit the course, and I will get into the course options straight to completion. Now, all the way down to certificate, this is where you can attach a certificate to your course. Let's select the classic one. And of course, you can also preview what the certificate is about. And what you're looking for lies here in the duration. You can customize the duration. For example, in your case, since you want the users to take a training yearly, you will set the certificate duration to 1 year. And once you do that, this automation will show up that will allow you to reassign the course to the user on certificate expiration 1 week before or 30 days before. Let's say 1 week before to allow some time to the learner to complete the course and not being left out with any invalid certificate, with any expired certificates. Now, what this will do, this, of course, will take under consideration the completion date of the certificate for each user. And 1 week before the certificate expires, the system will reset the progress and reassign the course to the user so they can retake the course. The good news, and something that we have developed, is that we have the certificate history. So if you go back to the user's reports, randomly, I'm just picking a user here. There's the certificates button here that will allow you to check the history of all the certificates that that user has obtained so far. Anastasia, are you ready for 2 more questions before we wrap up?
Yes, let's see how my throat will help me with that. So I think I have time for answering another 2 questions. because we're approaching to the end of our webinar. I see more questions are coming. So in case we don't have time to, reply to all of you, just send us again an email to success@talentlms.com. Now, Christy says that she's using survey units and they are very helpful. Thank you for that. And she's wondering if it's possible to allow only high score learners to access the surveys. Okay, good case. So what you could do is create a course, okay, from scratch that will only have a survey unit. Now hide this course from the course catalog. So you can manually hide a course from the course catalog just by going to the course option here, and from the availability tab, you can just toggle and save in order for this course to not appear in the course catalog. So step one, create the course and add the survey unit, and step two, uh, just hide it from the course catalog. And then how can only your high score learners access the service? This is something that you can totally create as an automation. So automations help you save time as an admin, and you have a list of different events. So just type score and you will see that you have an automation, relevant automation, like on course completion. Here you can select the course that you would like to take on the high scorers. So select your course and set the high score from, let's say, 75 to 100%. Okay, or maybe
Anastasia,
make
sorry
it.
for jumping in.
Yes.
Is it me or
Oh, sorry,
are you sharing the screen? Because I
I
can't
think,
see it, and I was wondering if it's only me.
thank you, Irini, for that. So I was saying that you need to create the course, and okay, we have already shown that. So let me save some time and not show it again. So we have created the course. But let me show you how you can just go to the course options, and from the availability tab here, you have the option of showing course catalog. So make sure that this is deactivated like this. Okay, so your course with a survey unit will not appear in your course catalog. And then we go to the automations. Here you have the list with all the events. Type score to find the relevant automation. So this is the one. Select the course that you would like the high scorers to, when they score, so when they complete the course to score high, and set 80 to 100% here. And then select the course that you have created with a survey unit so that it would be directly and automatically assigned to the learners that scored from 80 to 100, and there you have a survey replied only with high score learners. And okay, one last question. I think, Irene, we don't have more time for more questions. So Stacy asks if she can print the tests. So Stacy, if you mean that you would like to print the questions that you have created in Talent LMS, you can do that. So let's go to the Mastering Negotiation course, and let me go to the quiz I created. If you click on the three points here, you will see that you have the option to print. And like this, you can print the questions of your tests. Okay, so here you can see that you can print out the questions. Now, if you mean print the answers given by the users of the test, this is something that you can do with the test report. So back to the learning activities and the test, just go here, okay, to any of our tests. And of course, you can go to the users and the attempt. And well, sorry, to the overview, and you can export and save the test in PDF, and you can print that out. I'm not sure if this is what you meant. So either case you can do. Just select, which one you need in your case. So Irini, I think that's a wrap, right?
Yes, that's a wrap, and thank you all for joining today. We hope that you've gained valuable insights into how Talent LMS can transform your evaluation process. I can see that you have been raising hands, but I'm really sorry we cannot answer any more questions. But since you have more questions on the features we discussed today or any topic, send us an email to success@talentlms.com. And of course, we're very excited to see your comments. So feel free to do so by following the link posted in the chat. It's a short survey link where you can express your thoughts and or ideas and share your feedback with us when it comes into this session. Again, thank you all for joining. Thank you, Corina and Ioannis, for answering all the questions in the background. You have been on fire. I'm very proud of you. And thank you, Anastasia, for hosting this session live with me.
Thank you, everybody. And until next time.
Happy trading.